Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University, where it's women's basketball action on tap for this evening between the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders and the number 9 team in the country, according to the latest D3Hoops.com women's basketball poll, the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, already champions of the Ohio Athletic Conference in the regular season. Last Wednesday evening, they won at home and then had to wait about 10 to 15 more minutes to see if they got the requisite help, and they did, from the Marietta Pioneers against the Capital Comets. And then they cut down the nets here at Ursprung Gymnasium in a celebration of that accomplishment. And tonight they put their undefeated Ohio Athletic Conference record on the line against the Purple Raiders. Right now, we're going to step aside for the national anthem. When we come back, we'll run down the starters and then get this game tipped off between these two Ohio Athletic Conference rivals in the Purple Raiders of Mount Union and the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. We'll be back with the opening tip-off right here on BWYellowJackets.com. Taking a look at the starting lineups, first for Mount Union at guard, a 5'3" senior from Bookville High School in Akron, Ohio. Number 0, Day Nash. Joining her in the starting backcourt, a 5'8" senior guard from Barberton, Ohio. Number 11, Haley Haywood. On the wing, a 5'6" senior from Menor and Lake Catholic High School. Number 25, Allie Hudick. In the front court, a 5'8" sophomore forward from Marlington High School in Alliance, number 33, Elizabeth Mason. And rounding out the starting 5, a 5'10" freshman forward from Alliance Marlington High School, number 1, Chelsea Evanich. Starting it up for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. In the front court, a 6' senior forward from Perrysburg, number 24, Bella Valent. At forward, a 5'11" senior from Napoleon, Ohio, number 25, Kaylee Ressler. At the wing, a 5'11" junior from New Philadelphia, number 11, Alyssa Miller. In the backcourt, a 5'9" sophomore guard from Grove City, number 10, Kayla Jones. And running point for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, a 5'4" senior guard from Pickerington, Ohio, and Pataskala Watkins Memorial High School, number 22, Emily Irwin. The Yellow Jackets are coached by Sherry Hare, who's in her 35th season running the program. She is assisted by Associate Head Coach Cody Hartzler, Assistant Coach Lauren Held, and student assistant coaches Tavin Lakoski and Donovan Burkett. Susie Vanette is in her 20th year running the Mount Union program. She's a former outstanding guard for the Purple Raiders. She is assisted by Erica Johnson and Jamie Schmeltz. The Purple Raiders are in a purple with Mount Union written across the front in a different shade of purple trimmed in white. The numerals are in white trimmed in black, and the Raiders have black and white accents down the sides of the jersey with the Mount Union Athletic logo on the leg of the jersey. The Yellow Jackets in white. Jackets written across the front of the jersey in gold trimmed in brown. The numbers in brown trimmed in gold, and brown and gold accents down the sides. Miller against Evanich, and the Purple Raiders will win the tip-off. It's Haywood on the left side, sending it out front to Hudik. Now it goes out front to Evanich, back to Nash on the right wing for three, and she buries it for the Purple Raiders. Mount Union with a quick 3-0 lead. Emily Irwin bringing the ball up, avoids dribbling into a trap, gives the ball off to Miller. Miller to Irwin, out to Wrestler on the left side of the floor. Wrestler over to the left wing to Kayla Jones. Jones gets into the lane, spins to her right, floating jumper off back iron, rebounded by Evanich, and she's up the floor with the pass to Nash. Scoop pass to Hudik, and it gets right back to Nash on the right side of the floor. Nash tries to dribble inside. She gives it off to Evanich. Evanich spins up and in with the turnaround jumper. It's 5-0 Purple Raiders 1 minute into the first quarter. Irwin the other way for the Yellow Jackets at the top of the arc. Gives it off to Wrestler. Wrestler back to Irwin. Irwin lobs it inside to Bella Valent. Valent puts it on the deck with the left hand twice. Goes up off the window and puts it in for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. That'll cut the deficit to 3. 90 seconds into this game. Haywood with the basketball on the left wing. Sends it out front to Mason. Mason, the leading scorer for the Purple Raiders at 13.6 points per game. She's a 50% shooter from the field and a 41% shooter from three-point range. The shot from the Purple Raiders off the mark. The putback attempt by Haywood is off the mark. It's out of bounds off of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. It will stay with Mount Union with 18 on the shot clock. Nash to inbound. She'll lob it in to Evanich, who hands off quickly to Mason. Mason into the corner to Haywood for three. Off the side of the rim and out. It's tipped by Kayla Jones and rebounded by Emily Irwin. Irwin into the front court at the top of the arc. Sends it over to Miller on the right wing. Out front to Jones. Jones lobs it into the high post to Valent. Hand off to Jones in traffic. Up off the window, and it's in for 2 points. Jones on the left-handed layup from Valent. Going the other way, it's Hudik with it. Dribbles off on the right wing. Out front to Haywood, over to Nash on the left wing. Nash on the dribble drive against Irwin. Goes up and sends it over the rim and out. It's rebounded by Valent, who hands off to Irwin. Irwin into the front court. At the top of the arc, she'll drive to the left of the lane. Tries to kick it out to Wrestler. It's stolen away by Mason. Mason all the way to the hoop, up and in for the Purple Raiders. They're back up by 3 at 7-4 with 7:20 left in the first quarter. Heavy pressure from the Purple Raiders. Wrestler gets the ball up to Miller. Miller dishes it to Valent. Valent misses the shot, but she's going to draw a foul as Evanich is tagged with the first foul of the game for either team. Coming in for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, Alyssa Miller will take a seat. And Laura McCoy will come in. Maddie Everett will check in. And Kayla Jones will check out. Haywood, Nash, and Hudik check out along with Evanich. The Purple Raiders send on Sierra Schlosser, the 5'11 junior forward from Galloway, Ohio, and Bishop Ready High School. Valent's second attempt is up and good as well. She cuts the deficit 2-1. It stands at 7-6. Bringing the ball up for the Purple Raiders, a freshman guard out of Youngstown Ursuline High School, number 14, Lily Scott. Going the other way, driving is Mason. She has to pass it back out to Scott. Scott sends it out to Schlosser. Now over to Kayla Ferenczi. Now to Scott on the drive to the lane, back to Ferenczi, and she fumbles it out of bounds off of her right knee. The Amherst Steel Comet commits the turnover, and the Yellow Jackets will have possession. Also into the game for the Purple Raiders for the first time today, number 44, Tess Conroy, 5'7" sophomore from Cuyahoga Heights High School in Valley View, Ohio. Down 480 way from Berea. Irwin sends it over to Valen on the right wing, out front to Everett. Back to Irwin on the left wing. She'll step into a 3-ball. It's off back iron. Valen there for the rebound. Puts it on the deck once. Kicks it out to McCoy. Back to Irwin. Down to the corner to Wrestler for 3. Off the side of the rim and out. It is rebounded by Ferenczi of the Raiders. She'll dish it out top to Conroy. Conroy on the drive. Throws up a running layup attempt, and it's out of bounds off of the Purple Raiders. It will go over to the Yellow Jackets. Checking in for Bella Valen is number 4, Sadie Arndt, a 5'11" senior forward from Cary, Ohio. And on the floor for the first time today for the Purple Raiders is number 30, Abby McElroy, a 5'7" sophomore from Canfield, Ohio. McCoy with the basketball, right side, sends it out to Wrestler. Wrestler back to McCoy. McCoy on the dribble drive, stops, swings it inside to Ebert. In traffic, she gets the right-handed layup to go, and now the Yellow Jackets in front for the first time tonight at 8-7. Going back the other way, though. It's stolen away by Sadie Arndt, but then Arndt loses a handle on it. It's out of bounds over to the Purple Raiders. Ava Wilkerson checks in for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. She will spell Emily Irwin, the lone starter on the floor for either team, is Kaylee Wrestler of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Lily Scott into the front court. She'll dribble off right wing. Now charging into the lane, has it deflected by Everett. It gets thrown out to Ferenczi, three-pointer off back iron, rebound tipped around and controlled by Everett. She'll scoop a pass up to Laura McCoy. McCoy into the front court, spins to her right, and her 3-foot jump shot is up, and it is in. The Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets lead at 10-7 as we hit the halfway point of the first quarter. Scott with the basketball, sends it over to Schlosser. Now it goes back to McElroy, over to Ferenczi. Ferenczi on the right side of the floor, drives to the right of the lane, misses the layup. The rebound is tracked down and put back up and in by McElroy. The former Canfield Cardinal with her first 2 points of the night, cuts the deficit to 1. On a drive, Ebert dishes it, and Sadie Arndt gets tied up along with Ferenczi. Possession arrow favors the Yellow Jackets, so it'll stay here with 23 on the shot clock. Kayla Jones in. Kaylee Wrestler out for the Yellow Jackets. Scott, Conroy, Schlosser, and Ferenczi will check out for the Purple Raiders, and we'll get their substitutions to you in just a second as Haywood, Nash, Evanich, and Hudick come back in. Wilkerson misses the layup, gets her own rebound back, and puts it back up and in with the right hand to reinstate a 3-point lead for the Yellow Jackets. Nash the other way. She'll scoop a pass over to Hudick. Now to Haywood. Haywood sends it out top to McElroy, who squares up the hoop working against Jones. Haywood on the baseline from 15. Nothing but the bottom of the net. That'll cut the Yellow Jacket lead to 1, 12-11. BW in front with 3:54 to play here in the quarter. Wilkerson sends a pass over to McCoy on the left wing. Out front it goes to Jones. She'll reverse it right side to Arndt. Arndt on the drive baseline. Kicks it out to McCoy. Halfway through the shot clock, McCoy sends it over to Jones. Jones enters it inside to McCoy. McCoy puts it on the deck with the right hand. Scoops it up and in. Off the window to give the Yellow Jackets a 14-11 advantage. Quickly the other way. Haywood with it, and Haywood shuffled her feet. That's a turnover for the Raiders. Yellow Jacket basketball. Checking in for BW, number 21, Casey Badalak. She's a 5'8" senior, or junior guard, I should say, from Cincinnati Archbishop McNicholas. And checking back in for the Purple Raiders is Elizabeth Mason. Wilkerson out top between the circles, sends it over to Badalak on the right wing. Badalak into Valent. Valent feigns the pass, draws a double team, kicks it into the corner to Ebert for three. Off the side of the rim and out. Rebound off of Bella Valent. It will be to the Purple Raiders. Yellow Jackets with some good looks early from three-point range, but they haven't called long distance yet tonight. Nash across the timeline. She'll scoop a pass over to Hudick. Hudick hands off to Haywood. Haywood back to Nash. Now to Hudick. Thought about a 15-footer, now gives it off to Nash on the left wing for three. Off the side of the rim and out. It's rebounded by Jones. Jones up the floor to Badalak on the left wing. Over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson slowing down the tempo, letting the Yellow Jackets catch up as Jones was trailing to play. Everett was trailing to play, I should say. After getting knocked down, going for the rebound. Wilkerson into the high post to Valent. She'll square up the hoop on the right side. Goes to her right, looking back door with a pass. It's stolen away by Mason. Mason jogs the ball into the front court, off on the left wing. She'll try to drive baseline, kick it out to Haywood. Haywood, then to Nash, out top for three. Off the side of the rim and out. Evanich will track down the rebound in the right corner. Kick it back to Nash on the right wing. Nash out top to Hudick, lob inside to Evanich. She'll put it on the deck one time, and she'll go to the line to shoot two. Evanich, 32 of 46 on the year at the free throw line, 69.6%. Alyssa Miller will come back for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets to spell Maddie Everett, and Emily Irwin will return to relieve Ava Wilkerson. Lily Scott in for the Purple Raiders. Evanich's first is on the way. It's off the mark. It hit the front of the rim and rolled off the left side. 2 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. The Yellow Jackets up by 3, 14-11. Make it 14-12 as Evanich splits the pair. Now the Yellow Jackets will inbound against a full pressure defense from the Raiders. Miller gave it to Irwin, then got it back, gives it up to Jones. Jones dribbles it into the front court, lost it. It's stolen by Mason. Mason on the drive goes up and misses the layup attempt over Emily Irwin. Irwin catches the deflection on the rebound. Irwin into the front court, behind the back dribble, gets into the lane, lobs inside to Valent, and it's off of Valent's hand, out of bounds. Turnover for the Yellow Jackets. Lily Scott running point for Mount Union. She's into the front court. She'll dribble off right side and hand off to Mason. Mason to Evanich, and hand off back to Scott. Back to Mason. From the left wing, she'll drive it in the middle of the floor before giving it to Evanich, and she's off the mark with the shot. Valent collects the deflected rebound, gives it off to Emily Irwin. Irwin, right wing to Miller, now into the corner to Badalak for three, left it short. Rebound will be battled for by Valent and Scott, and the possession arrow favors the Purple Raiders. Coming in for Mount Union, Sierra Schlosser and Kayla Ferenczi. For the Yellow Jackets, replacing Kayla Jones, it is Kaylee Ressler. Scott into the front court, dribbles off right side, sends it off to Ferenczi. Ferenczi out top to Mason. She'll swing it left side to Scott. Scott in the lane, has it deflected. It's scooped up and stolen away by Bella Valent. To Ressler, now to Irwin. Irwin into the front court. Scoops it to Valent. She'll step into a three ball. In and out, no good. Rebound to Ressler. Despite a triple team of Purple Raiders, she gets a shot lifted. She's off the mark with it. It's rebounded by Ferenczi. 3-second differential between the shot and game clocks. Ferenczi scoops it out to Schlosser. Now to Nash on a drive. Gets it altered by Miller. It's rebounded by Valent. Yellow Jackets can play for last shot. The shot clock is off. 15 seconds left to go here in the quarter. Irwin across the timeline. 8 seconds left. She walks into the play, gets a screen from Valent. Irwin on the drive, pulls up from just inside the three-point line. It's off the mark. Rebound to Nash, and that is how the first quarter will come to a close. The Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets lead the Mount Union Purple Raiders by a 14-12 count. We're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, second quarter action for you right here on BW Yellow Jackets UrspringGymnasium.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. Matt Florjancic on the call of tonight's game between the 9th-ranked Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets and visiting Purple Raiders. We are starting the second quarter of play with Irwin, Arndt, McCoy, Miller, and Ressler on the floor for the Yellow Jackets. And Irwin had a good look at a layup but couldn't get it to fall. Mason along with Scott, Ferenczi, McElroy, and Conroy on the floor for the Raiders. Foul on the floor by the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. It's Emily Irwin who's tagged with her first foul, and the first foul of the game against the Yellow Jackets. It was first foul of the second quarter, I should say. Pretty clean a first quarter overall, one foul aside. As the Raiders will tie up the score at 14. Now McCoy into the front court, kicks it over to Ressler on the right wing. Out top to Irwin. Irwin back to Ressler. Ressler drives into the lane, kicks it into the corner to McCoy. McCoy on the drive baseline, sends it out to Ressler. She'll fire up a three from the right wing. Got it! Baldwin Wallace finally gets one to go from long distance, and Ressler puts the Yellow Jackets up by a 17-14 count, 1 minute into the second quarter. Conroy with it, right wing, sends it out top to Ferenczi. Now it goes over to McElroy for three, and she answers to knot the score at 17. Irwin over to Ressler. Ressler into the front court, immediately facing the double team. Now the Raiders pick up the basketball, get the steal. On the drive, it's Ferenczi, and as she draws the foul against Emily Irwin, and that's Irwin's second. That's the second in the quarter against the Yellow Jackets. Ebert and Wilkerson return to spell Miller and Irwin. Ferenczi on the year, 2 of 4 at the free throw line, so not a frequent visitor. Line to our right. So get the ball, dribble it out 3 times, aim, fire, and off back iron, no good. The score remains tied at 17. Purple Raiders come in at 12-11 overall. They're 2-6 away from home. And all those road records came in the Ohio Athletic Conference as Ferenczi is off the mark with her second. It's rebounded by the Yellow Jackets. Mount Union just 7-9 in conference play this year. Wilkerson running point, sends it off to Ebert. Back to Wilkerson on the left side of the floor. On a drive, scoops it out top to Ebert. Ebert now drives to the left of the lane, gets it shut off, looking back door to Wilkerson. One time on the deck, goes up with the left hand, and it's a layup to go for the Yellow Jackets. 19-17, BW in front. Scott hands off to Conroy. Conroy sends a pass right side to McElroy. Now a pass over top from Mason, gets deflected and stolen by Kaylee Ressler. Ressler to Ebert, now to McCoy on a drive from the left wing, and a foul is called against the Purple Raiders. It goes against Kayla Ferenczi, her first. That's the first on the Purple Raiders in the quarter. Chelsea Evanich and Day Nash are back for the Purple Raiders, along with Haywood, and now seeing her first action today. Number 10, Riley Hutton, a 5'6" freshman guard from Salem, Ohio. Wrestler on the jumper, off the inbounds pass, is off the mark. It's rebounded by Everett. Valent back on the floor for the Yellow Jackets. Everett on the drive, baseline, goes up with the left hand and puts in the layup to give the Yellow Jackets a 21-17 lead. Nash sends a pass to Evanich. Evanich over to Haywood on the right wing. Back to Nash. Nash over to Evanich. Pump fakes a 2, drives and kicks it. Into the corner it goes to McElroy for 3. Off back iron, twice off the mark, and a rebound will be tracked down in front of the Yellow Jacket bench by Kaylee Ressler. Ressler into the front court, gives it off to Valent, now to Everett between the circles. Everett over to Valent on the right wing. Feigns a 3 attempt, swings it over to Everett. Everett to McCoy, right side, into the high post to Valent. Valent puts it on the deck one time, goes up and misses the shot. Rebound battled for, and a tie-up will ensue, and possession arrow goes over to the Mount Union Purple Raiders. Mason sent to the table quickly to check in for Mount Union, and she will relieve McElroy. Kayla Jones returns for the Yellow Jackets to spell Kaylee Ressler. Nash into the front court for Mount Union, working against Wilkerson. Sends it over to Haywood on the left wing, out front to Evanich. Now it goes to Hutton. Hutton back to Nash. Back to Hutton on the left wing. Thought about a 3, kicks it back out to Nash. 6 on the shot clock for the Purple Raiders. Nash working against Wilkerson on the drive. Scoop shot up, no good. Rebounded by Valent. Valent gives it to Everett. Everett into the front court. Drives to the right of the lane. Scoop shot up, and a block is called against Mount Union. Maddie Everett will be sent to the line to shoot 2 on the foul from Nash. And sent to the table is Allie Hudick, former Lake Catholic Cougar. Will check in for Haley Haywood. Everett on the year, 20 of 29 at the free throw line, 69%. The first attempt is on its way, and it rattles in to increase the Yellow Jacket lead to 5. Everett takes a step back, has some words with Wilkerson, gets it back, spins, and hits for the Yellow Jackets. Everett will be spelled by Alyssa Miller. Casey Badalak also returns for the Yellow Jackets, and BW leads it 23-17 with 6:11 left in the second quarter. Nash hands off to Hutton. Hutton then gives it to Hudick. Back to Nash. 17-footer on the way. It's off back iron, rebounded by Nash. She'll kick it out to Hudick once more. Now to Evanich in the high post. She'll reverse it to Mason on the left wing on the drive. Mason into the lane, and it's kicked by Ava Wilkerson. The Purple Raiders will hold it, and they will get 9 seconds added to the shot clock. It'll be bumped up to 20 from 11. Nash to inbound. Does so to Hutton. She'll hand off to Hudick. Now to Nash on the right wing. Nash into the high post to Mason. She'll drive to the left of the lane. Scoop shot up, and it's too strong over the rim, and it's rebounded by Valent. Valent into the front court. Feigns a handoff to Jones. On the drive, Valent kicks it out to Badalak. She'll hoist from the right wing, off the side of the rim and out. Rebound battled for, and the Purple Raiders will get possession as Bella Valent will get tagged with the foul for the Yellow Jackets. That's Valent's first. That's the third on the Yellow Jackets here in the quarter. Schlosser returns for Mount Union, and she'll inbound it to Nash. Nash dribbles off right side, hands off to Hudick. Over to Hutton. Back to Nash. Now to Hudick once more. And it's poked out of bounds by Casey Badalak. The Yellow Jackets will force the Purple Raiders to inbound in front of the BW bench. Brooke Thompson comes on for the first time today to relieve Bella Valent. Thompson, a 6'2 junior forward from Mainville, Ohio, and Little Miami High School. Hudick to inbound, gets it into Nash. Nash back to Mason on the right wing on the drive. Has it shut off by Kayla Jones. Out front to Hudick. Three-pointer on the way. And it's off the top of the backboard to the Yellow Jackets. Maddie Ebert sent to the scorer's table, and she will check in for Alyssa Miller. Kayla Jones will inbound it. Does so to Ebert. Ebert into the front court. Beats the Mount Union press on the drive, and she will draw the foul on the floor. That'll be the third foul on the Purple Raiders in the quarter. And Wilkerson will inbound underneath her own hoop. She lobs it into the high post to Ebert. Ebert puts it on the floor. Swings it out to Jones. Jones over to Badalak. She'll key up a three from the left side of the floor, off the side of the rim and out. It's rebounded by Nash. Nash hustles across the timeline, scoops it over to Hudick. Back to Nash. She'll put it on the floor with the right hand a couple of times and give it off to Mason. Mason sends it over to Hutton for three from the right wing. It's off the mark. Rebound to Mason, but she stepped out of bounds. It's a possession to the Yellow Jackets. Lily Scott and Kayla Ferenczi return for Mount Union. Laura McCoy back for the Yellow Jackets. She'll take the inbound pass and hustle into the front court. McCoy between the circles, sends it off to Jones on the left wing. Jones hands it off to Ebert. Ebert into the high post to Thompson. She'll square up the hoop and kick it back out to Ebert. Ebert reverses it to McCoy. On the left wing, McCoy on the drive. Pulls up from 13. It's off back iron. Rebound battled for. Maddie Ebert tosses it out. It's scooped up by Ferenczi of the Purple Raiders. She'll dribble off to the right wing. Into the corner to Hudick. She'll step into a deep jumper, and it rattles out. Rebound tipped and controlled by Mount Union. And now a foul on the floor as the Yellow Jackets converge on Elizabeth Mason and send her to the court. Ebert picks up the foul. That's the fourth on the Yellow Jackets in the quarter. Wrestler returns for Badalak, and seeing her first action today is number 20, Aaliyah Riley, the 5'7 junior guard from Cincinnati Sycamore High School. Scott inbounds it to Evanich. Jumper on the way, and good for Mount Union. They trail it by 4, 23-19, with 3:30 to play in the second quarter. Wrestler off on the right side. Swings it in to Thompson. Back to Wrestler on the handoff over to Jones. Jones on the dribble drive. Gets it shut off. Gives it off to Riley. Riley then drives. Dishes it at the last second to Thompson, and it's out of bounds off of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Bella Valent returns for Brooke Thompson of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, and the Purple Raiders will look to cut in to this 4-point Yellow Jacket lead. Lily Scott into the front court. Sends a pass off right wing to Ferenczi. Ferenczi to Evanich. Over to Scott on the left wing. Scott back to Evanich. She'll feign the three on the drive. Pulls up from 13. It rattles out. It's rebounded by Valent. Valent into the front court. Swings it out to McCoy. McCoy on a dribble drive all the way to the hoop. Up, and it's no good. Rebound Valent. She'll get fouled on the putback attempt, and she will go to the line to shoot two. Bella Valent, 2 of 2 on the day from the free throw line. She's now 40 of 62 on the season, better than 63% at the charity stripe. Abby Muckleroy will check in for the Purple Raiders to spell Chelsea Evanich. Valent line to our left, puts it on the deck twice, gives it a spin, aims, fires, and hits for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Second attempt on the way, off back iron, rebounded by Conroy of the Purple Raiders. Conroy will bring it into the front court. Dribble off right side. Swing it into the corner to McElroy. Back to Scott now. Out front it goes and gets sent back to Mason on the right wing. Over to McElroy. Into the corner. It's Ferenczi for three, and it's off the back of the rim. No good. Rebound to Scott. She has it blocked by Ressler, and Valent pulls down the rebound. Ressler looking back door to Leah Riley, and Riley had to carry him off of her hands. It's an excellent look and an excellent cut. Just could not hook up on the pass. Ebert checks in for Kayla Jones. And Scott brings the ball into the front court for the Purple Raiders. Mason off the handoff, gives it off to McElroy, now to Scott. Back to McElroy on the right wing. She'll try to drive against Valent, loses her balance, keeps her dribble. Then gives it off to Scott. Scott into the lane, kicks it out. And it's Ferenczi with it out top to McElroy. 2 on a shot clock. Conroy unloads a 3 and misses everything. It's a shot clock violation on the Purple Raiders. The Yellow Jackets get possession. Ressler to inbound. She'll lob it into Ebert. Ebert across the timeline. Between the circles, she'll dribble off to the right of the lane. Now to the right wing, out front, a pass to Valent. Over to McCoy, now out front to Ressler. Ressler into the mid-post to Valent. Valent draws a double team. She'll put it on the deck with the left hand. Go up off the window, no good. It's rebounded by Mason. Mason pushing the pace the other way. She'll go up off the window with the left hand and in. 24-21, Jacket lead down to 3 with 1 minute to play here in this second quarter. Ressler's pass nearly stolen by Scott, but Ebert keeps it for the Yellow Jackets. She'll scoop it back to Ressler. Ressler off to Riley. Riley thought about a 3 that sends it off to Ebert on the left wing. Ebert puts it on the floor, gets into the lane, scoop shot up, and it's no good. She gets her own rebound back, and a foul is called on the floor against the Purple Raiders. Conroy is called for the foul, and that's the 5th on the Purple Raiders, which will put the Yellow Jackets at the free throw line. Riley will check out for the Yellow Jackets. Kayla Jones will come in for Bella Valent. Riley will be relieved by Ava Wilkerson. Conroy checks out. Nash returns for Mount Union. Ebert line to our left, aims and is off the mark with her first shot. She gives the ball a spin, couple dribbles, aims, fires, and splits the pair. 25-21. Jackets in front, 40.3 seconds left to go here in the first half. Scott across the timeline, scoops a pass over to Nash. Nash then hands off to Ferenczi. Back to Scott, no, over to Nash. Nash back to Scott on the left wing. She'll try to drive, and she got bumped by Laura McCoy. That will put Lily Scott at the line for 2 as the Yellow Jackets are over the limit. Scott 19 of 31 at the free throw line this season, 61.3%. Badalak returns along with Kayla Jones, for Kayla Jones, I should say. Ebert will check out for the Yellow Jackets. They have on the floor McCoy, Valent, Badalak, Wilkerson, and Ressler. Scott's first attempt off, back iron, no good. She toes the line to our right, puts it on the deck 3 times, gives it a spin, aims, fires, and that one rims out. The Yellow Jackets can use it all. The shot clock is off. 19 seconds left in the first half. Ressler will walk it into the front court after collecting the rebound. Now with 8 seconds left, Ressler dribbles off to the right wing. Crosses up Mason, gets into the lane, spins to her right, throws up a floater, and is fouled in the process. She will get 2 at the free throw line, and the Yellow Jackets leading scorer at 10.9 points per game goes to the line, where on the year she has made 47 of 62, 75.8%. Sierra Schlosser is back for Mount Union. to relieve Elizabeth Mason. Wrestler's first attempt is on the way, and it's on the mark. Second attempt is good as well. 27-21, Jackets lead it by 6. 1.8 seconds left. Nash catches the inbounds pass, and the shot will not be lifted in time. The Yellow Jackets will take a 6-point advantage into the break at 27-21 over the Mount Union Purple Raiders. While we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket women's basketball game against Mount Union is being brought to you by University Hospitals, Trasinski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue. The Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying tonight's Yellow Jacket women's basketball game on BWYellowJackets.com. We're going to step aside for a halftime break. When we come back, we will run down the first half statistics for you and get this second half between the Purple Raiders of Mount Union and Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets started right here on BWYellowJackets.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. We're at halftime as the 9th-ranked Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets lead the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders by a 27-21 count. Taking a look at the first half statistics for you. Leading the way in scoring, it's Maddie Ebert with 7. Bella Valent and Kaylee Ressler have 5 each. Laura McCoy and Ava Wilkerson have 4. And Kayla Jones has 2 for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Leading the way for Mount Union with 5 each, Chelsea Evanich and Abby Muckleroy. Then it's 4 for Elizabeth Mason, Day Nash with 3, Haley Haywood and Kayla Ferretzi with 2 each. The leading rebounder for the Yellow Jackets with 8 is Bella Valent, and the leading rebounder for the Purple Raiders is Chelsea Evanich with 4. Evanich also one of 4 Purple Raiders with 1 assist. The leading playmaker for the Yellow Jackets, Laura McCoy, with 2 assists. Taking a look at the team statistics, BW started 6 of 15 from the field in the first quarter, 40%. They were 0 of 5 from three-point range and 2 of 2 at the free throw line. Then in the second quarter, baskets became a little bit more difficult to come by as the Yellow Jackets finished 3 of 12, 25%, 1 of 3 from three-point range, and they went 6 of 8 at the free throw line. For the first half, the Yellow Jackets went 9 of 27 from the field, 33.3%, 1 of 8 from three-point range, 12.5%, and 8 of 10 at the free throw line, 80%. Mount Union went 5 of 18 in the first quarter, 27.8%. They were 1 of 4 from three-point range, 25%, and 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Then in the second quarter, 4 of 15, 26.7% from the field, 1 of 6 from three-point range, 16.7%, and 0 of 4 at the free throw line. For the first half, 9 of 33, 27.3%, 2 of 10 from three-point range, 20%, and 1 of 6 from the free throw line, 16.7%. Mount Union leads points off turnovers 3-2. The Yellow Jackets have a 16-12 advantage in points in the paint, a 6-3 edge in second chance scoring. Both teams even on the fast break at 4 points apiece. And then the Yellow Jackets with a 15-7 advantage in bench scoring. The biggest lead for the Yellow Jackets is at 6, where it stands right now. The biggest lead for Mount Union was at 5. There's been 1 lead change, 2 ties. Baldwin Wallace led the game for 14 minutes and 58 seconds. Mount Union with the advantage for 4 minutes and 8 seconds. BW outscoring Mount Union 14-12 in the first quarter, 13-9 in the second quarter to bring our first half total to 27-21. Mount Union again comes in at 12-11 overall. They are 2-6 away from home, 7-9 in OAC play, and 2-6 in OAC road games. The Yellow Jackets 22-1 overall, 12-0 at home, 16-0 in OAC play, and 8-0 in OAC home games. Next up for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets will be a trip down I-77 way to play the Marietta Pioneers in the Van Johnson Arena in the regular season finale. Baldwin Wallace, the regular season champions in the Ohio Athletic Conference. They clinched the number 1 seed with a win last Wednesday and a capital loss to Marietta. Mount Union will end the regular season at home on Saturday afternoon, kicking off an OAC doubleheader against the Ohio Northern University Polar Bears. On the floor for the Yellow Jackets to start this third quarter, Irwin, Ressler, Ebert, Valent, and Jones, 4/5 of the starting lineup. Ressler off on the left wing, sends it out top to Jones, now to Everett on the right wing. Harwood, Nash, Mason, Evanich, and Hudick on the floor for the Purple Raiders as Kayla Jones buries a triple for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Quickly the other way, Nash lobs it into Mason. Mason with the right hand, got bumped but no call. It's rebounded by Valent, and then it's knocked out of bounds off of Kayla Jones. It will go with the Purple Raiders. Critical game for the Purple Raiders as they are one game behind Otterbein in the conference standings for the 6th and final spot in the Ohio Athletic Conference postseason tournament. Nash with a pull-up jumper off the mark, rebound to Bella Valent. She'll outlet it far side to Emily Irwin. Irwin into the front court. Skips it to Valent into the corner to Everett. Now into Valent in the post, working against Evanich. She'll go up off the window, and Bella Valent will get the layup to go. 32-21. Yellow Jackets up by 11, their largest lead of the night, with 8:45 to play in the third quarter. Mount Union couldn't ask for a much more difficult slate in the final week of the season as the Purple Raiders burn a 30-second timeout. How about this? They get Baldwin Wallace on the road at 16-0 in conference play, and then they get Ohio Northern coming into their building on a Saturday at 12-4. So they will face some stiff competition over the final 96 hours of the regular season, hoping to get into the win column and then get into the Ohio Athletic Conference postseason tournament. Should they get in, they would be on the road next Tuesday. Baldwin Wallace has the bye, and they will next be in action next Thursday after closing out the regular season in Marietta. Nash dribbles off on the right wing, hands off to Mason. Mason to Evanich. Evanich back to Nash. She loses a handle on it, but gets it back. After scooping a pass to Mason, the ball gets back to Evanich. Now to Hudik. Hudik with 5 on the shot clock. Drives, stops, pops, and hits along the baseline. 32-23. Purple Raiders cut the deficit to single digits with 8:15 to play in the third quarter. Irwin out top. Kicks it out to Wrestler. She'll fire up a three, and it's off the side of the rim and out. It's rebounded by Hudik. She'll swing it over to Nash. Nash hustles across the timeline. Scoops it over to Hudik. Thought about a three, now gives it off to Nash from the top of the arc. She'll step into and bury a triple. That'll cut the deficit to 6, 32-26. Yellow Jackets in front. Irwin sends a pass across the timeline to Ebert. Ebert gets into the lane, dishes it to Valent. Valent gets tied up underneath, and a possession arrow favors the Purple Raiders. So the Yellow Jackets with a quick burst out of the halftime break, 5 in a row to go up by 11. And since then, the Mount Union Purple Raiders have responded with a 5-0 run. Nash into the front court, sends it off to Hudik on the right side. Back out front to Evanich, over to Nash on the left wing for three, off the side of the rim, and that will trickle out of bounds. Nash hit the deck. She lost her footing, and it slid out from underneath her, and she wasn't able to track down the rebound. Laura McCoy will check in for Kayla Jones. Harwood will check out for the Purple Raiders, and Tess Conroy, the Valley View, Ohio native, will return. Irwin into the front court for the Yellow Jackets. Hands it off to Ebert. Ebert thought about a three, then sends it over to Valent. Now to McCoy, into the corner to Wrestler. She'll swing it into the post to Valent. Valent draws a double team. Puts it on the deck one time with the right hand. Up off the window, no good. Rebound tipped out of bounds by Maddie Ebert, and it will go to the Purple Raiders. Evanich inbounds it to Nash. 3 minutes gone here in the third quarter. Hands off to Conroy, over to Hudik on the right side of the floor. Hudik over to Mason. Mason into the post to Conroy. Conroy working against McCoy, flips it up and in with the left hand. That 11-point lead down to 4. Mount Union trails at 32-28. McCoy takes a pass from Irwin, gets it into the front court with a throw to Valent. Valent puts it on the deck twice with the right hand. Gets it blocked. Everett hustles in there for the rebound. Goes up with the putback, and it's off the mark. Mason fights off Conroy, her own teammate, for the board. Quickly, Evanich from the left wing on the drive. Goes up and misses a shot. It's rebounded by Valent. Valent hands off to Ebert. Ebert near sideline with a pass to Wrestler. Wrestler drives into the lane, kicks it over to McCoy on the left wing for three. Off back iron, rebounded to Valent. Valent in double digits in rebounds, nearing a double-double in points and rebounds as well. Wrestler on the left wing with the basketball now. She'll spin and get close to the lane. Kick it out to McCoy, now to Irwin. Into Valent, 5 on the shot clock. Valent goes up off the window, no good. It's rebounded by Mason. Mason pushing the pace into the front court. Skips it to Evanich, and she'll drive into the lane, have it poked away. Wrestler hustles after it, and the jump ball possession arrow goes over to the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Arndt, Badalak, and Wilkerson come on for the Yellow Jackets for Valent, Ebert, and Irwin. Schlosser, Scott, and McElroy on the floor for the Purple Raiders, along with Ferenczi. So 4 on the floor, along with Conroy, who will stay on. Wrestler out top between the circles. Sends a pass to Badalek on the left wing. She'll key up a 3 off back iron. A rebound pulled down by Mount Union. Wrestler got undercut on the box out from McElroy and hit the deck. She took a couple seconds to collect herself. And McElroy will be called for the foul. She got Wrestler lifted off the floor and then dropped to the floor. The Yellow Jackets will keep possession. Wilkerson over to Badalek. She'll unload a 3 for the right wing. Off the mark. Rebound hauled in by Conroy. Conroy off to Scott. Scott to the top of the arc, off on the right side now. Over to Ferenczi on the right wing. Ferenczi gives it back to Scott. Scott gives it to McElroy. McElroy over to Ferenczi. Three-pointer on the way. It's off the mark. Rebounded by Sadie Arndt. She'll pick it up and give it to Wrestler. Wrestler to Wilkerson on the far sideline. Off on the left wing, Wilkerson kicks it into the quarter to McCoy for 3. Got it! It rattles in for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, and they go back in front by 7, 35-28. 4.5 minutes to play in the third. Ferenczi with it for Mount Union, working against Badalak, swings it inside to McElroy. McElroy on the drive against Wrestler, goes up, and she'll get fouled by Kaylee Wrestler. McElroy will go to the line for 2. McElroy 0 of 2 on the day from the free throw line. She's now 4 of 8 at the line for the season, 50%. Conroy comes out for Mount Union as Mason returns. And then returning for Mount Union as well as Haley Haywood. The first attempt is on the way, and it's on the mark for McElroy. Wrestler comes out. Kayla Jones back for the Yellow Jackets. Second attempt from McElroy on the way, on the mark as well. 35-30, Jacket lead down to 5. 4:16 to play here in the third. Wilkerson into the front court. Sends a pass left wing to Jones. Jones into Wilkerson, now to Arndt on the baseline, and she'll put it up and in with the right hand. Sadie Arndt with the layup to reinstall the Yellow Jackets with a 7-point lead. Scott the other way, sends it off to Ferenczi. Ferenczi over to Scott. On the right wing, Scott will send it out front to Ferenczi between the circles. Now to Mason on the right side. Mason puts it on the floor. Kicks it over to Haywood on the left wing. Back into Mason, and a foul is called on Kayla Jones of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. That's Jones's first. That's the second on the Yellow Jackets in the quarter. McCoy will check out. Emily Irwin will come back for Baldwin Wallace. Scott to inbound, and it's batted out of bounds by Kayla Jones. The Raiders will inbound once again. Scott inbounds it to Ferenczi. Takes the handoff. She stepped on the sideline. That's a turnover for Mount Union, an unforced error. by Mount Union, and Nash will be sent to the scorer's table quickly to relieve Scott. And coming back also into the game is Allie Hudick to spell Kayla Ferenczi. Irwin into the front court with the basketball. Sends it to Jones on the right side. Jones back to Irwin. Thought about a three. Now puts it on the deck once. Gives it to Wilkerson. She'll fire up a three, and she'll knock it down for Baldwin Wallace. Ava Wilkerson puts the Yellow Jackets in front by 10, 40-30 with 3:15 to play here in the third quarter. Timeout on the floor by the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. While we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that tonight's Yellow Jacket women's basketball game is being brought to you by University Hospitals, Trasinski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes, BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics, Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company, City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue, and the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Today's Yellow Jacket women's basketball game is being carried on BWYellowJackets.com. On the floor for BW, Jones, Wilkerson, Irwin, Arndt, and Badalak. On the floor for the Purple Raiders, it will be Evanich, Hudick, Mason, Nash, and Haywood. The starting five on the floor for Mount Union. Nash into the front court, lobs it into Mason. It's stolen away by Kayla Jones. Jones checks up just short of half court, then brings it in across the timeline. Jones spins, goes up off the window, no good. Rebound tipped around and controlled by Emily Irwin. Irwin on the drive, up off the window, no good, too strong. Nash pulls it down. Nash will bring it into the front court. Off to Hudick for three from the right wing. Left it short, rebound to Casey Badalak. Badalak walks it across the timeline, hands it to Jones. Jones backdoors a pass to Arndt, up off the window, and Sadie Arndt puts it in for the Yellow Jackets. They lead it by 12, 42-30. Nash the other way, drives right of the lane, stops, kicks it out to Mason. Mason now on the drive, scoop shot up with the left hand, no good. Rebound tipped around. It's out of bounds off of Sadie Arndt. It will stay with the Purple Raiders. Wrestler and McCoy come back for the Yellow Jackets to spell Badalak and Jones. Nash will inbound for Mount Union. She gets it into Mason. Mason out front to Hudick, who hands off to Haywood. Haywood then gives it back to Nash. Out front to Mason. She'll lob it inside to Evanich, and it's out of bounds off of the Purple Raiders. And it's a turnover, Mount Union. Bella Valence sent to the scorer's table. She'll spell Sadie Arndt, who has given the Yellow Jackets quality minutes off the bench this stretch run of the regular season. Matching a career high twice with 8 points since the calendar flipped to 2025. A nice offensive weapon for the Yellow Jackets, especially when Brooke Thompson was down a couple of games with injury. Irwin hands off to McCoy. McCoy on the drive, kicks it back to Irwin. That's going to go out of bounds off of the Yellow Jackets. It's a turnover for BW. And we'll have a conversation with the officials here. This might get overturned on a deflection. And it will get overturned. It stays with the Yellow Jackets, as Hutton has returned for Mount Union, as has Muckleroy. Mason will check out for Muckleroy to return. And we will have a brief review at the scorer's table to see how many seconds are on the shot clock. Both teams will head over to their bench areas that will stay on the floor as the officials review the tape. While we have this break in the action, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket women's basketball game is being brought to you by Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket women's basketball game on BWYellowJackets.com. Wilkerson, Irwin, Ressler, Valen, and McCoy on the floor for the Yellow Jackets. Hutton, Hudick, Nash, Evanich, and Muckleroy on the floor for the Purple Raiders. Irwin sends a pass to Ressler. A foul is on the floor, and it will go against the Purple Raiders. Hutton picks up the foul. It's her first. That's the second on Mount Union in the quarter. Irwin to inbound on the baseline. She'll give it to Ressler. Scoops it back to Irwin. Irwin on the dribble drive, kicks it out to McCoy. McCoy spins to get into the lane. Draws a double team, kicks it out to Irwin. She'll hoist the three from the top of the arc. It's off back iron, but rebounded by Ressler. Ressler off to McCoy. McCoy over to Valen on the right wing. Out front to Wilkerson. Wilkerson drives, kicks it into the corner to Irwin for three. Off back iron, rebounded by Evanich. Evanich gives it to Nash. Nash hands off to Hudick. Hudick crosses up Wilkerson, gets it to Nash in the corner. Now it's Muckleroy unloading a three. She's off the mark. Rebound battled for by two Yellow Jackets. It's deflected to Mount Union. Nash with a deep two on the way. No good. Rebound to Wilkerson. Wilkerson into the front court. Loses a handle on it, but scoops it off to Ressler. Ressler hands off to Irwin. Irwin gets a screen out top from Valen. Irwin thought about a 14-footer, gave it up to McCoy. Out front to Ressler. 10 on a shot clock. Into the post it goes to Valen. Valen puts it on the floor, spins to her right, and gets caught shuffling her feet. It's a turnover for the Yellow Jackets. Scott comes back in for Mount Union to relieve Nash. And Mount Union can use it all as there's 21.1 seconds left in this third quarter. Everett returns for the Yellow Jackets to spell Ava Wilkerson. A little defense for offense there for the Yellow Jackets. Scott hands off to Hudick on the left side. Hudick around a screen. Kicks it to Evanich. Over to Hutton on the right wing. 5 seconds left. Hutton pulls up her dribble. Looking backdoor for a pass. Can't find an outlet. She gets it stolen by Bella Valen. And that is how the third quarter comes to a close with the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets leading at 42-30 over the Mount Union Purple Raiders. We're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, fourth quarter action for you right here on BWYellowJackets.com. Welcome back into the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's women's basketball action in the Ohio Athletic Conference on the schedule tonight. Mount Union starts the fourth quarter with possession of the basketball. They are down 42-30 to the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. It's Scott, Hudick, Muckleroy, Evanich, and Conroy on the floor for Mount Union. The Yellow Jackets counter with Irwin, Everett, Valent, McCoy, and Ressler. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Scott with possession after tracking it down. It's poked away, but controlled by the Purple Raiders. 15-footer from Evanich is up and in. Ressler inbounds it to Irwin. Irwin faces a full press. Gets it to Everett. Now to McCoy on the right side. Out front to Irwin. Looking backdoor with a pass to Valent, and Valent draws a foul against Evanich. That's Evanich's third. That's the first on Mount Union in the quarter. Irwin inbounds it to Ebert. Ebert on the drive gets tied up, and a foul is now called. Conroy hit with the foul. That's her first. That's the second on the Purple Raiders in the quarter. Ebert takes the inbound pass on the drive, draws another foul, and this one should be against Conroy as well, I believe. Correction, that is her third foul. That's the third on the Purple Raiders in 54 seconds in the corner. Irwin inbounds it to Valent. Out to McCoy it goes for three. It's off the mark. Rebound to Bella Valent. She'll go up off the window. Missed the putback. Rebound battled for. And Valent will come up with another one. Tries to throw it off the leg of a Mount Union defender. And now she'll be tied up for a jump ball. And the possession arrow will favor the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Schlosser and Mason come back for Muckleroy and Evanich from Mount Union. Wrestler with the basketball on the left side of the floor working against Mason. She'll hand off to Ebert. Ebert to Wrestler on the left wing. Back into Valent in the high post. She'll swing it over to Emily Irwin. Irwin from 19 misses everything, and it's rebounded by Maddie Ebert, but a shot clock violation will be called because the Yellow Jackets could not draw rim, and it will go over to the Purple Raiders. Sadie Arndt will come back for the Yellow Jackets and replace Bella Valent. A conversation between the officials ensues. About whether this would be a shot clock violation or not. Clearly it should be. The ball did not hit the rim. Call will stand as a shot clock violation, and Mount Union will get possession. Mason inbounds it to Scott. Scott into the front court. Dribbles off right side, looking backdoor for Mason. It's tipped out of bounds by Kaylee Wrestler. Good recovery on defense by Wrestler. Irwin will check out. Ava Wilkerson will come in for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Scott will inbound it. Gets it in to Schlosser. Out to Conroy for three. Got it. 42-35. Jackets in front, but they just give it away on the inbounds attempt. And a timeout is called by Mount Union. It's a 30-second timeout. We have this break in the action. And to remind you once more that today's Yellow Jacket women's basketball game is being brought to you by University Hospital, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes, BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics, Dane Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company, City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue, and the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Out of the timeout, Mason, Schlosser, Conroy, Hudick, and Scott on the floor for the Purple Raiders. Wilkerson, Jones, McCoy, Arndt, and Wrestler on the floor for the Yellow Jackets. And off the inbound pass, Mount Union scores once more. Wilkerson catches it from Wrestler, gets it to Jones, now to McCoy on a skip pass to the left side of the floor. She'll hand off to Wrestler. They'll get back to Wilkerson on the left side of the floor on the dribble drive. Wilkerson dishes it, but not before she shuffled her feet. That's a turnover for the Yellow Jackets as Casey Badalak will come back in for Laura McCoy. Scott brings the ball into the front court, hands off to Conroy, over to Hudick. Hudick lobs it inside to Conroy, up off the window. It's too strong, no good. Rebounded by Wrestler. Wrestler off to Wilkerson, near side, over to Jones on the far side. Into the corner to Badalak for three. Got it! Baldwin Wallace back up by 8. 45-37 with 7:18 to play in the fourth quarter. Scott dribbles off right side, hands it to Schlosser, now over to Mason, over to Scott. Back to Mason, but it's deflected and chased down by Hudick. Hudick will give it to Mason. Mason driving against Kayla Jones. Gets in the lane, loses a handle on it. It's stolen by Kaylee Wrestler. Wrestler scoops it over to Jones. Jones into the front court. Dribbles into the lane, kicks it out to Wrestler. Feigns a three, gives it to Wilkerson. Now out front to Badalak. She'll raise up and be short, but it's rebounded by Kayla Jones. Off to Badalak, over to Wrestler on the right side of the floor. Back to Wilkerson. Wilkerson over to Badalak on the right wing. Into Wrestler. Wrestler from 14, turnaround jumper up and in. 47-37. Jackets lead by 10, 6:20 to go in regulation. Scott on a drive, kicks it to Hudak on the right wing. Hudak back to Scott. She'll lob it inside to Conroy. Conroy up off the window and in for the Purple Raiders. Wrestler inbounds it to Wilkerson, gets it right back and then lobs it near the timeline to Jones. Jones over to Badalak, now out front to Wilkerson once more. Over to Wrestler on the left side. Wrestler scoops it to Jones. She'll fire up a three and bury it for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. 50-39, BW in front with 5:43 to go. Timeout on the floor by the Mount Union Purple Raiders. It is a 30-second timeout, say the officials. And while we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that tonight's Yellow Jacket women's basketball game is being brought to you by Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying tonight's Yellow Jacket women's basketball game on BWYellowJackets.com. Mason on the drive for Mount Union. She'll kick it out to Evanich, who returns with Haley Harwood and Day-Day Nash. Shot on the way, and it's up and in for Mount Union. Ebert inbounds it to Wilkerson. Wilkerson immediately tied up, dribbles out of the double team, throws it to Badalak. Off to Ebert. Ebert hustles into the front court. On the drive, stops and goes up for the shot, but it's batted out of bounds by Haley Harwood. Ebert, Arndt, Jones, Wilkerson, and Badalak on the floor for the Yellow Jackets. Wilkerson to inbound underneath her own hoop. Gets it into Jones on the right wing. Jones out front to Ebert. Ebert looks for Wilkerson. It's not there. She'll kick it out to Badalak. 10 on the shot clock. Badalak back to Ebert on the right side. Out to Jones on the left side. Jones on a dribble drive with 2 on the shot clock. Up off the window. It's off the mark. Rebounded by Haley Harwood. Harwood over to Nash. Nash into the front court. Into the corner to Hudick. Back to Nash on the right wing. Back to Hudick. She'll get around a screen from Evanich. 17-footer on the way, and 17-footer is on the mark. That'll cut the deficit to 7, 50-43, Jackets in front. Badalak catches the inbound pass along the sideline, gives it back to Ebert. Ebert into the front court with a pass to Jones. Jones off to Badalak, left wing three on the way, it's off the mark. Aren't there with the rebound, put back attempt, no good. And the ball will stay with the Yellow Jackets as it's deflected out by the Purple Raiders. And Coach Sherry Hare is absolutely beside herself. Cannot believe that a foul is not called. Badalak, Wilkerson aren't check out. Wrestler, Irwin, and McCoy return. Everett and Jones will stay on for the Yellow Jackets. Irwin to inbound the ball. Underneath the hoop to our right. She'll lob it into Jones. Jones out front to McCoy. McCoy over to Everett on the right side. Everett will dribble drive up off the window. No good, but she'll get two coming from the line as she was fouled on her way up. Haywood picks up the foul. That's her first. That's a fourth on the Purple Raiders in the quarter. Everett's first is up, and it is good for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. She toes the line to our right, gives it a spin, a couple dribbles, aims, fires, and hits. 52-43, Jackets in front by 9 as we near 4 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Haywood with the basketball, left wing. Sends it out front to Evanich. Evanich will hand off to Nash, and Nash will get bumped by Emily Irwin. That's the Yellow Jackets' first foul of the fourth quarter. And that's Irwin's third. Scott returns for Mount Union to replace Haley Haywood. The inbound pass goes to Scott. She'll hand off to Hudick. Hudick pulls up from 15. It's off the mark. It's rebounded by Ebert. Ebert then swings a pass over to Wrestler as she was falling out of bounds. Wrestler tracks it down on the sideline, gives it up to Jones. Jones into the front court, gets into the lane. Then skips it over to Ebert on the drive. Ebert one power dribble, up and in for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jacket hoop. 54-43, Jackets in front with 3:22 left in the fourth quarter. Scott from the left wing. Feigns the drive, kicks it out to Mason. Mason gives it off to Evanich. It deflects off of her hand, but she'll track it down. Give it off to Nash. Nash lobs it inside to Evanich. Up off the window, left it short. It's rebounded by Laura McCoy. McCoy across the timeline, gives it off to Wrestler. Wrestler out to Ebert. Ebert on the dribble drive. It's stopped in the lane, gives it out to McCoy. Over to Jones, around the world it goes to Wrestler on the left wing. Over to Irwin, now she'll dribble to the left wing. Irwin out to Jones, back to Wrestler. She'll key up a three, and she left it short. It's rebounded by Nash. Nash gives it to Hudick. It gets lobbed into Evanich. Evanich scoops it up with the left hand. It's off the mark, rebounded by Wrestler. Off to Emily Irwin. Irwin over to Jones. Jones lobs it to McCoy. McCoy off the window and in. 56-43. Jackets in front with 2:14 left to play in a regulation. Timeout on the floor by the Mount Union Purple Raiders. It is a full timeout. And they are down to just one timeout remaining. While we have this break in the action, I want to remind you once more that tonight's Yellow Jacket women's basketball game is being brought to you by University Hospital's Trasinski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue. The Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket women's basketball game on BWYellowJackets.com. On the floor for the Yellow Jackets, Arndt, Wrestler, McCoy, Wilkerson, and Irwin. On the floor for the Raiders, it will be McElroy, Scott, Nash, Mason, and Hudick. Mason rolls it in to Nash. Nash will pick it up and bring it into the front court. She'll send it out top to McElroy, into the post to Mason. Mason working against Wrestler, goes up, gets it blocked, and a foul is called against Kaylee Wrestler. She'll scoop the ball over to the official and not be happy with the call, but she'll hustle to her spot along the free throw lane as Kayla Jones returns to spell Sadie Arndt. Mason, 64 of 85 on the free throw line coming into today's game, 75.3%. She hits the front end of the two-shot foul. 2 minutes left to go in this contest. The Yellow Jackets leading by 12. Mason make it 11, and she will by completing the pair of free throws. Wrestler inbounds it to Irwin, who brings it up the floor into the front court, off on the near side. Sends it to Wrestler. Wrestler double teamed and gets it off to Irwin. Irwin then is fouled, and that is foul number 5 on the Purple Raiders in the quarter. It goes against Allie Hudick. That's her first, and Mount Union, having committed their 5th foul, will send the Yellow Jackets to the free throw line. Emily Irwin, 48 of 56 on the season, 85.7%. First attempt on the way, and it is good for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Irwin gets the ball, puts it on deck twice, aims, fires, and hits. 58-45, Jackets lead it by 13, 1:47 to play here in the fourth quarter. Scott with it on the left wing for Mount Union. Gives it off to Mason. The southpaw fires up a 3 off back iron, rebounded by Kaylee Wrestler. Wrestler will bring the ball up and then give it to Wilkerson midway through the backcourt. Wilkerson into the front court, hands it back to Wrestler. Wrestler sees the double team coming, gives it to Irwin, into the corner to McCoy. McCoy kicks it to Wilkerson, three-pointer on the way from the right wing. Got it! 61-45. Jackets in front with 1:09 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Scott scoops it over to Hudick. Hudick on the drive, back to McElroy. McElroy will skip it over to Hudick. Hudick into Mason. Mason working against Jones. Mason up with the right hand. She misses it. It's rebounded by Jones. Jones gives it to Wrestler. Wrestler with a patient walk up the floor into the front court. She will dribble off on the left side, working against Mason. Wrestler with 8 seconds left on the shot clock. She'll get to the lane. Spins to her right, gets it blocked by Mason, and a foul is called against the Mount Union Purple Raiders to put Kaylee Wrestler at the free throw line. Mason picks up her 3rd. The Purple Raiders are over the limit. Wrestler 75.8% on the season coming into today's game, and she hits the front end of the 2-shot foul. Second attempt on the way, good as well for the Baldwin Wallace senior out of Napoleon, Ohio. Sadie Arndt comes back in and spells Kaylee Wrestler. The shot clock is off. Mount Union can use it all if they choose. Nash on a drive, goes up with the left hand, and it rattles in for the senior guard out of Akron, Ohio. Jones inbounds it to Irwin. Irwin dribbles through a double team, gets it into the front court with a pass to McCoy. McCoy will give it back to Irwin, and 5 seconds remain in this contest. Irwin will dribble it out as she walks towards the Yellow Jacket bench. And that will end tonight's contest with BW winning 63-47. The Raiders fall to 12-12 overall, 7-10 in Ohio Athletic Conference play. They are now 2-7 on the road in a conference play. Baldwin Wallace, winners of 23 straight games. They have a 23-1 record overall, 17-0 in Ohio Athletic Conference play, and 13-0 in home games this season. They are 9-0 in OAC home games. They finished the regular season undefeated at home, both overall and in conference play. Taking a look at the final statistics for you. Leading the way for the Yellow Jackets with 11 points, it was Maddie Ebert. 10 from Ava Wilkerson, 9 for Kaylee Ressler, 8 from Kayla Jones, 7 for Bella Valen, 2 for Emily Irwin, 9 for Laura McCoy off the bench, 4 for Sadie Arndt, and 3 for Casey Badalak. The leading rebounders on the evening for the Yellow Jackets with 14, Bella Valen, and 7 each to Kaylee Ressler and Maddie Ebert. Leading playmakers for BW with 3 assists each, Kayla Jones and Laura McCoy. And then Kaylee Ressler led the team with 2 of BW's 6 steals. Leading the way for Mount Union with 9 points, it was Chelsea Evanich. Elizabeth Mason finished with 6. Day Nash had 8. Haley Haywood had 2. Allie Hudick had 6. Kayla Ferenczi had 2. And then with 7 each, Tess Conroy and Abby Muckleroy, the leading rebounder tonight. Day Nash with 6. And leading the way in steals with 3 was Elizabeth Mason. 4 assists led the way for Lily Scott. Off the bench, BW outscored in points off turnovers 8-7. Points in the paint even at 26 all. The Yellow Jackets then outscored Mount Union 10-5 at second chance opportunities, 9-4 on the fast break, and 37-16 off the bench. BW with 13 assists on 21 made baskets. Mount Union 9 assists on 19 makes. BW shot 21 of 60 from the field, 35%, 7 of 24 from three-point range, 29.2%, and 14 of 16 at the free throw line, 87.5%. Mount Union 19 of 58 from the field, 32.8%, 4 of 17 from three-point range, 23.5%, and 5 of 10 at the free throw line. BW won the battle of the boards, 45-32 overall, 16-9 offensively, 29-23 on the defensive end. BW commits 13 turnovers to 11 for Mount Union. Both teams finished with 6 steals. BW with 3 blocks belonging to Kayla Jones, Kaylee Ressler, and Alyssa Miller, and then 2 blocks for Mount Union, Evanich and Haywood with 1 apiece. Quarter scores go as follows: 14-12 BW in the first, 13-9 BW in the second, 15-9 BW in the third, 21-17 BW in the fourth. The largest lead of the night for BW was at 18 points. The largest lead for Mount Union at 5. Largest scoring runs, 8 for BW, 7 for Mount Union. 1 lead change, 2 ties. BW led for 34-58. Mount Union for 408. Mount Union returns home to end their regular season against Ohio Northern. Baldwin Wallace puts their unblemished OAC record on the line once more in the regular season when they travel down to the Ban Johnson Arena to face the Marietta Pioneers on Saturday afternoon. That'll do it for our coverage here tonight. BW will next be at home on a Thursday of next week when they host an Ohio Athletic Conference women's basketball postseason tournament semifinal matchup. For everyone here at Baldwin Wallace, I'm Matt Florjancic saying thanks for watching tonight's basketball game. Have a great night, everybody. And as always, go Jackets.